Welcome to Hearthstone Judgment, episode 5. We're still looking back into what I've done the first 3 episodes, but it's horrifying. Hearthstone's cards, design is so terrible that Kripparian has to hide in the forest. To the nearest little thing that he finds. Look how happy he is. You're not happy playing Hearthstone? Excuse me. Anyway, so we left off with the funnel cake and with the question mark of like, what should we do with this extra mana? Shouldn't we just give extra mana to the player, not give a fuck? And honestly, yes. Honestly, it's not gonna break the game. Yes, it will accelerate the game. Yes, you kind of high roll, but with this, you can't high roll. So refreshing mana crystals is just a PTSD that these developers have. It's like, man, Innervate gave you 2 mana crystals and it broke the game, and it wasn't Innervate's fault, obviously. It just wasn't. Like, how did Innervate did not get nerfed for so long until it did? For what reasons? We're gonna go back into the past and we're gonna see when Innervate got nerfed. And we're gonna know exactly who nerfed Innervate. Because they like nerfing around cards and not the actual cards. And it's so pathetic when they do that. So the same thing goes here. We have to get rid of the PTSD of like, oh, the greatest power creep is getting mana crystals and not summoning 0 mana 5/5s in one turn. Getting mana, oh my god, no. No. Because in one turn you can just offload your hand and then you lose because you don't have cards. It's like, come on, bro. A high roll is now a part of Hearthstone's, everyone just agrees upon that. Well, he high rolled, he deserves to win. Alright? It's not a big deal. I'm just gonna go to the next idiot who wants to play the game in an abusive manner. Because there's no other kinds of players. There's bots and abusers of the game. There's nothing in between. I haven't found it yet. In the previous episode where I highlight bots and players, I'm like, there's literally nothing in between. There's nobody just having fun and playing some interesting stuff. It's just control decks, high roll decks in a way, and bots. It's a pretty interesting mix. And it's much more interesting to beat up bots than real players at this point. But hey, we got funnel cake. The funny thing is, you can redesign this card and it's so satisfying. Why would you need mana crystals when you can get coins for selling funnel cakes? Duh. You get 3 coins. And it seems like it's broken, but it's like, other cards give coins too. And not every card has broken Hearthstone if they give coins. But they're, generally played, especially to create combos or whatever. That's pretty cool. And you need hand space for that, so you cannot actually pull off crazy combos just because you have 3 extra mana. Nope. But it's really cool. It's really cool, and guess what? Druid or Priest doesn't get bonuses for playing cards like Rogue does, so you shouldn't be worried about giving coins. Rogue shouldn't have coins, to be honest. Coin for Rogue is abusive, but this is completely fine. You just give coins. So welcome to the 5th episode. Where did we left off? Well, we left off here. We just covered the first episode and called it the 4th episode at the same time. Technically, we're rewinding and, because it's a new channel as well. And you haven't seen it, maybe, the first 3 episodes, and you don't really have to, because they suck. I changed Frostmourne, where I was tinkering with, going from 7 mana to 5 mana, from 5 attack to 3 attack. But I can just literally just keep this flavor and just simply make it an instant effect, where it has to overkill the minion. With 4 health, right? And if it does that, it immediately resummons it on your side of the board. Very simple. Now it should be playable, because that's the, you know, the most, I think the most pathetic thing overall, especially now that death rattle weapons are a thing. Alright? Like, they printed these things, and they actually make little sense to the game, because now death rattle weapons, they have to be really powerful when they proc, and they're just infinitely powerful. You play this, you wait as long as you can, and then you just unleash the furious nonsense. I mean, Disco Maul is just gonna be a playable card still, and I don't know why it's not getting punished into oblivion. But you just have these weird death rattly cards all of a sudden that all you have to do is just make them not death rattles, and now they're just decent because they're like instantly useful. This is how Hearthstone works in general. If you have to turn something into a death rattle, it's going to be very difficult to make it a good card. Not having an instant effect is really painful. But here's an extreme case of how a death rattle looks like, am I right? Which has nothing to do with death rattles, it has everything to do with delayed effects. There's more 4-mana cards. Why am I seeing this many 4-mana? What's going on? Okay, maybe there wasn't. It was a legendary. Yeah, it's a delayed effect. It's a ridiculous effect. It's a 4-mana 15/15 if you can just waste 4 mana, which you could probably do in the game often enough. For the sake of winning the game, anyone would do it. I just don't see it often enough. I don't think you lose the game just by playing this card. You play this sometimes, and it kind of has a similar effect though, so it's kind of stupid, right? Why would you play this over this? But that's also just a very, very similar delayed effect. And it's mind-blowing. In order to have a delayed effect to work, all of a sudden you have to make it broken? Is that how it works? That's how powerful things are these days. And if you just delay the game a little bit further, now you're just dealing with broken things. Which is kind of weird. It's just very weird for Hearthstone to be this ridiculous. In a way. Where late game doesn't even matter anymore. You can do whatever you want in late game. But hey, maybe I don't understand Hearthstone anymore. Except no one does. Or no one ever did. I want to listen to like legend players try to explain Hearthstone. That would be nice. Except, I don't know how to find that stuff yet. Maybe one day, guys. Maybe one day. I'm optimistic. Anyways. So, often enough, when I will see a death rattle, I'll just be like, nope. No need that one. Because, you know, Druid doesn't have Borklers, this is actually not broken. You know, it technically can be countered with the same 4-mana card. From like Priest or something else. Not broken. And again, you have to take damage. So, it's actually weaker than a Borkler sometimes. Because a Borkler shuts down the board that's threatening you. But in this case, you're inviting people to threaten you. On turn 4. Or whatever. So it's a very interesting card where it doesn't feel too powerful because Borklers exist. And they can squeeze out that 15 points of tempo sometimes. If you consider, like, healing because opponent couldn't attack with their creatures. It's like, whatever, man. Stupid Hearthstone, man. Anyways. Would I redesign this card? you might ask? I'll definitely think about it. Like, such a delayed effect is so stupid to make it so powerful. And the second part where you summon 8 giants, I don't think that's even relevant. I don't think you even care about this stuff. You should just be able to have a 4-mana card that does something if you're like desperate. You know, you could like freeze creatures. By the way, you should be able to tangle creatures, to shackle in multiple ways, just like in Elder Scrolls Legends. Elder Scrolls Legends basically is something Hearthstone developers should play. That's what it is. They should play the fucking game and understand how stupid they are, because they still haven't invented all the things that Elder Scrolls Legends did, but they're slowly doing it. And we can talk about it in some other video. So yeah, like if we're talking about roots, maybe we could, you know, summon a bunch of small treants and freeze opponent's board. I think that's completely appropriate. Why freeze is only just for Frost, Death Knight, and Mage? I want it everywhere now. No, obviously I hate freezing effects. But there could be like cool keywords that stop creatures from attacking. I don't know. Or reduce their attack if they attack into trees. You can come up with some cool stuff to fill up this card, or just goddamn have again an instant effect. You summon 3 treants, 2/2s, right? Back in the day when I had a 5-mana card that summons 2/2s. They could even have Rush. I don't know. I'll think about it. Maybe I'll come up with some kind of perfect solution to this. But it has to have an instant effect. I'm sorry, bro. It's like, whoa, secretly, oh my god. You never know. It's like, yes, there's only one option, bro. Also, I will change how many cards show up in one chunk, because it's very difficult to manage. I'll just put 5 cards in one. So basically, I'll have to dot myself into oblivion, because it's very difficult to navigate and press that small edit button all the way up. So sorry for technical difficulties. We're gonna not have them in the future. This all fell breaks loose. By the way, we're gonna switch to wild, so we get to see every single card and not bump into anything weird. I keep the summoning the demon effect. That's fine. But we also have to invent a new thing. New keyword in a way. New phrasing. Which is minion portal. It's kind of definition. I can't squeeze the word definition though. So minion portal. Let's highlight this. Can be changed into any kind of portal. Any kind of type of portal. Pirate, demon, dragon, and so on. And it requires resources to start summoning creatures. And it summons any amount of creatures. It doesn't summon one creature. If you want to summon one creature, you don't call it a portal. You just say, summon a random demon of this much cost, right? But we need this portal to be able to summon any amount of creatures randomly, right? It just takes a resource and starts summoning creatures until it runs out of that resource, and then it spits out, you know, it has 2 mana left over, it just spits out a 2-drop and closes the portal. And you usually cast a portal, you don't just open a portal. There's probably a possibility of opening a portal where you keep generating that resource and it keeps summoning, you know, something. So we're going to be able to just look into so many cards and redesign them. I will use this portal thing with a lot more cards, because often enough, it's just way cooler. Alright? It's kind of a reminiscent of the other portal that Warlock has, the summoning portal. I almost wanted to call it the summoning portal, but it makes more sense to just call it the minion portal, because you're going to be summoning them anyways. And potentially I will redesign this card as well, because it's one of my favorite ones. And you also have other portals, you know, but they summon just one creature, and I think it's appropriate that way. They could do some cool things as well, but we also have a Tavern Brawl, basically, filled with portals like that. And it was a pretty good one. I didn't like it too much, but it was pretty decent. I had high hopes, and it failed, but at least I had hopes. You have this Arcane Dragon, just called Matron, basically. So I think we can see that this is how it looks like, the portal thing. Endless Infuse. Right, while the previous card requires demons to infuse, and it summons those demons, I just get rid of the requirement completely. You can still summon your stupid demon. Alright. I would just probably start with 5 infuse initially. Or say plus 5 infusion, I don't know. But use infusion, which is the infuse resource, right? And it casts the portal. So it will use that as a mana. Very simple, I think. Now this dragon, I simply change it so it doesn't wait. It just doesn't get summoned and then wait for spells to get played. No, it's just a battle cry which turns every single spell to have an additional Arcane Missiles effect when played. So if you have a full hand of spells, that's the only requirement. Mage can easily do that. And now every single spell you cast now has a Arcane Missile thing. So you can actually you don't have to like offload your hand. You can also use this as just a really nice thing to buff your hand a little bit. I think it's really cool. It could even have a bonus effect while it stays on board. It doesn't have to be boring like that, right? If it survives, you could have a bonus effect. So it could just simply be like +1 spell damage or whatever. And yet it would still apply to the Arcane Missiles. I don't know. It seems pretty decent to me. But the way it works right now, again, you have to summon it and just hope for the best. And now it gets even worse, because in a twist format, it's literally an OTK. So if you can summon 2 of those, oh wow, you just win. Fantastic. It's ridiculous, basically. I created Berserk keyword, where it's actually already used in Hearthstone. It's just called attack a random enemy minion. However, we did that last episode, right? We didn't finish it. So if I Hearthstone Judgment Part 3, and we go down, and we get to look into Brawl, right? And I was like, okay, give a minion Berserk until only one prevails. And I just added a bonus, right? But I didn't add a keyword that would allow Berserk creature to attack friendly creatures. That's what Brawl is all about. Only one creature survives. Meaning that your Berserk creatures should attack each other, basically. So I came up with Mad. Because when you're mad, you just destroy everything that you see. Anything on the board. Again, the players get to be safe. Alright? Player characters are safe from attacks. So it's a little bit different than how some cards work. You can't just go face with these things. But it's still gonna make an easy wording for the brawl. You know, it's very easy to understand. Once you understand, of course, what Berserk means, what Mad and Full Berserk. Full Berserk is just, you keep attacking. You never really lose Berserk, keyword, unless there's nothing else to attack on the opposing board. You can go full Mad Berserk and just destroy literally everything on the board. Or yourself. Which is super cool. I have nothing else to say. I want to see that in Hearthstone. And I think you guys do. Everything I say should be like a very big tease. And when you get, you know, the good type of food, you become immediately lactose intolerant. And you don't want milkies. You want good food. You know. You don't want to feel dependent on Hearthstone and whatever they're going to print out. What is this new Titan thing going to be? I don't even look into cards. Because Zeddy pumps out these videos almost every day where new cards get revealed. And I'm like, I don't give a fuck about your reveal season, okay? Just give me all the cards. We're going to sit down and look into all of this stuff. I don't have time to be teased and look into one card at a time. Which is for obvious reasons, but, you know. I'm not that excited, alright, in the first place. And it's done in a very weird way, where, like, if you want to reveal cards, you can do it inside Hearthstone. You can do so many things inside Hearthstone. They just don't understand how applications work. Like, it's much more convenient than a fucking website. It just, there's a pop-up there, you just click a button, you're already playing a game almost every day, you just click a button, what has been revealed? Oh, look, that's a pretty cool card. You might even be able to, like, play with some cards that get revealed at the certain time. Like, there's so many things you can do, and this is a game company, and they still cannot pull off a simple fucking notification thing properly. Like, it's unbelievable, bro. Like, give me money. Give me Taylor Swift amount of money. I'm buying Hearthstone, bro. I'm done with this shit. Whenever I can, I'll just snap fingers, it's mine. And now I'm in charge. Technically, I'm Patches the Pirate. I will give Patches. I'm in charge. I don't know how they got the inspiration for Patches of the Pirate, but now we need to fucking change it. Now I have the inspiration. Again, none of this is scripted. None of my videos are scripted. I don't have time for this shit. Let's go. The introduction is a little bit, you know, prepared. Patches the Pirate. How do we change Patches? Because Raron and the gang has decided it's the most powerful card, which is not. It's not the most powerful card. You telling me pulling out a 1/1 is gonna win you a current game of Hearthstone? Are you that fucking stupid? Everyone is that fucking stupid. They thinking 1/1, very early 1/1 is gonna win them the game. I'm sorry, bro. You also have a requirement to play a fucking pirate. How you gonna play pirates now? Alright? Now. You're gonna play a pirate now? Does anyone play Patches the Pirate anymore? Well, technically, you can play this shit. And it's annoying. And I understand the sentiment that Patches is playable, but that's about it. Without this, what do you play? You play this? Still not bad. You can play this, which nobody does, but I say it's a good card. It's Gangplank is in my heart, at least. It's at least like 3-6 damage. And then they still have to kill it. And it's immune to board clears. While it's dormant, you know? So I love that shit. And then you have Puffer Fist, which is also playable. There's some playable stuff, but I wouldn't count on Patches the Pirate being game-breakingly powerful. There has to be something else that is good. Like, Astalor is better by default, that it does so many things consistently. Well, actually, Patches... Well, yeah, that's true. Patches the Pirate is more consistent in giving value to your deck. I agree with that. That is cool. So how do I change the patches? How do I patch patches? Yeah, I didn't craft it, obviously. What? So after you play a pirate, summon this from your deck. Again, normally, you don't get bonuses for having things in your deck. It just doesn't happen. Alright. The way I would do it is like, you have to play this 1/1, and it dies, and then you summon it from the graveyard anytime it's not there, but there are pirates on the board. Or no, you just summon a pirate, right? And this is not on the board, but then it comes back. It patches back. Like, it's the easiest way to fix this thing. Anytime you need to nerf a card, maybe be careful and like just redesign. Think about it. Also, if something is problematic, guess what? Blizzard. Alright, where's my yellow heart? Let me contact Blizzard. Hey, have you learned how to ban cards instantly? You should at least be able to do that, okay? I know changing a number is the greatest event of all time, so maybe ban a card? Anytime there's a big card in the game, just ban it. Nope, you can't play that card. So the metagame changes. This is the easiest way to change metagame. You don't even need the stupid-ass mini-sets. Just ban a card until it gets nerfed, and then you can, or just completely changed, and then you can unban it, and that's it. It's the easiest thing to do. Something is problematic on the metagame, just ban it. Fuck it. If something is abusive, it's the easiest, man. It obviously comes out of nowhere, but, like, who cares? Who cares? Who cares if there's drama? Alright? Everyone likes that shit. Yes, the worst thing that can happen is an idiot who wants to play an abusive deck is gonna wake up one day and his bike is stolen. Just rightfully so. Alright? I don't need that shit, bro. We're not supposed to be fluffy, cute little things and really treat players like they're chubby bunnies every day. This is a game. You're not supposed to waste time here forever and ever, bro. Alright? You're supposed to feel things. And things supposed to change. But whatever. So yeah, I will come back every time. This is my card. Patches. I need a good name, though. The giraffe? The giraffe. I mean, I have a perfect word. The grand. Technically, I could just change P with G, and it's the great. And everyone agrees that that's a good word. But... Fine. Fine, guys. Is the great, not P-rate. Stupid P-rate, PP. Get out of here. So yeah, you have to draw the stupid pirate the patches. And then it gets resummoned every time. Once you remove the restrictions of summoning something, then we have a problem right in the game. We have to play the slot machine. What are you talking about? You don't get a free pirate. You could just, like, draw this card as well. You know, that's a very easy thing to do. And then you can do whatever you want with this card if you draw it automatically. Just by playing pirates. Technically, it makes even more sense to do that. what I would do with the patches to make it super cool, and everyone loves juggles, right? So you have this cannon, pirate cannon, ship's cannon. Not only you get the fucking patches out of the deck, but you also get the goddamn cannon with him. Now that's some fucking, you know, pirate boosting legendary. Still really ridiculously powerful, but now you have to pay 3 mana for this shit. Alright. And you can still keep it a 1-1. You know, it's still like, it's gonna come out with a cannon for 3 mana. Still gonna suck a little bit, but it's not gonna be game-breaking type of nonsense. So, it just gives you the cannon, alright? It comes out of your deck and gives you the cannon. I mean, I don't even have to say draw this from your deck. Where else are you gonna draw it from? Your grandma? Your grandma's old dusty, I don't know, jewelry box. I draw it from the jewelry box. Shut the f... Alright, we fixed it. We patched the pirate, and now it's great. The great ship's cannon boy. Now that's some cool stuff. If that's not enough, if that's not... We're not done yet. If that's not enough, Death Rattle gets 3 1-drop pirates. I can't turn it into a battle cry, but, you know. If you lack pirates for a ship's cannon, if your hand is like empty of pirates or something, or they're all expensive, well, you can still use patches to get yourself some pirates, so ship's cannon is still fun to play. Alright? That's how we roll, baby. Fuck it, let's make it even more stupid. I'm in charge. We can even give them charge. There you go. Smite my ass. 1-drops gonna charge in the face. Let's go. I don't know if this is appropriate anymore. At this point, we did enough. But fuck it, man. It's a goddamn legendary that we just nerfed. We just nerfed this asshole. Get out of here. No one would play this anymore. Anyways, yeah, it makes the... See, the funny thing is, we nerfed the patches because you have to play pirates. Or you still have to wait for pirates to come out of his ass. So, it feels though like you have the entire pirate ship show up, basically. From the very first pirate. It's a whole ship, man. That is so cool. Anyways, let's continue. So the reason why I needed Berserk is for this stupid card called Frontlines. Technically, it's now wild cards. I mixed it up a little bit. I looked into Zeddy's other video. And this popped in as like a weird unplayed card or whatever. I guess. I'm guessing here. But I say make it cheaper, clearly. Go to 7 mana. All your minions gain Berserk, so they will attack opponent's minions. My main one is to summon 3 minions to both sides. But you could just do it... Well, this would still cost 9 mana. But just summon 3 minions. I don't think it... From... God... I mean, it does the same thing, right? From the deck. It's just 3 minions. But your minions gain Berserk. So, they immediately battle each other, so there's no, like, charge for your opponent all of a sudden. Because your opponent gets quite a bonus, unless your deck is juiced up with big minions. But I came up with a, second solution. So for 7 mana, still the same effect where everything gets Berserk. But, you summon all the 3 cost minions from your deck. Not necessarily lower cost than 3, just specifically 3 drops for some reason. I don't know. I can't really say less. Because if I wanted to say less, I had to add a minus, and this not applicable, to be honest. The only thing I can do here is like this, but then it looks like a heart. So there's actually no solution for me to say 3 minus. Unless I do this. Unless I leave a gap. And it's like, why is there a gap? I couldn't tell you if I wanted to. Whatever. It's weird. I mean, you don't really want smaller creatures than that. You just pull those 3 drops, whatever. And because it's so specific, you kind of know what kind of minions come out of your deck. So that's cool. And most importantly, you're thinning your deck. Anyways, we changed Theft at Accusation, which is a stupid card with ridiculous requirement of just copying your opponent's cards and playing those cards. What's the point? Just make it flexible. You copy a minion from the board, and you get to destroy it if you play the copy. It's like stealing back your bike. You just prove that the bike is yours to someone or whatever. To social media, I don't know. And then you just take it back to yourself. That's it. Because you played your copy and their bike disappears. But you have to spend mana based on the cost of the minion. You don't just get to steal it with, like, you know, mind control or whatever. Which is... it seems fine here. I mean, at some point they have to stop with this ridiculous layers of synergies, because some cards are just going to be unplayable in that sense. Then Kidnap. It will not kidnap small creatures. Technically, it's a meme way to put it together. It's not gonna kidnap kids. Yeah. But I mean, if it cannot be countered by 1 drops or 2 drops, all of a sudden it's useful. You know, you will capture whatever is being played. Technically, the battle cry, I believe, triggers anyways, which is a little bit weird, but you have to buff this card somehow. I'm not sure what the wording would be. I don't really care. I think the card is kind of weird. Anyways, let's see how it looks like. Stuff it. Plays a 3+ cost minion or whatever. From the other side. So this is this shaman thing, which again, you don't want 10 cost cards to do something weird like this, where it doesn't actually, like, it's just a board clear. It's nothing too fancy. Alright. What, you're gonna have really big cards in your hand? Excuse me? This is a big card, so it has to do stupid things. But it doesn't work. So you have to lower the cost, summon 3 creatures from your hand instead, and it's just gonna work like a regular board clear with some Death Rattle synergy. That's it. I'm not saying this card is good now. I'm just saying it has synergies and it's now playable. So that's what makes it, you know, better than what the fuck this is. Alright, this is just a meme. In this case. You can maybe create a control shaman But I think you're already laughing at the idea that Control Shaman is a phrase. It's not. Jar Jar, boys. Obviously, Jar is its own thing, which is Ymir Jar. Which is like a stupid name for some creatures. And they just occurred 3 times. Alright, this, and then these 2. And it's like, what are these things? Well, we don't know. It's a Jar Jar, basically. So, it's a 5/5 with Rush. That's fine. Alright, I keep that. But I changed the way this card works. The way this card works is you get to choose what to discard. Yes, that compromises all the discard synergies because they become way more powerful. But they're not supposed to be random. Alright? Randomly summon a 3/3. Or not summon a 3/3. That's a pretty big, brutal slot machine moment. You should be able to choose what to discard and what kind of effect it has. It's not supposed to have a really crazy effect. But if it synergizes with discard, it should be quite consistent. You add discard cards in your hands, and you add the synergies. So we're gonna probably have to nerf synergies or whatever because of this change. But basically it will have +2/+2 for discarding 1 card. It might not be able to discard a card, and it will not get the effect if your hand is empty. But add discard is a trigger to give this creature +2/+2. It will only require 1 discard, by the way. So it's ridiculously powerful. No, it's just a normal card now. But this is unplayable. This is ridiculous. What is this? I get +2/+2 for discarding 2 cards, which is 4 points of tempo, and I can lose my win condition. Thank you very much, Blizzard. What the fuck are you thinking? You know, like... Oh my god. We fixed a really bad card. Thank you, guys. Last stand. So this is, draw that stupid taunt thing. I'm like, let's, create a random thing called Armor Steal. Because I don't know how to buff this card. So I'm like, fuck it. It has Armor Steal now. What does Armor Steal do? Well, after you kill a minion, you get to steal their armor. So based on their health, that's how much armor they have. You can take their fur if they're a fucking beast. I don't care, bro. I don't care how you generate armor from that card. Because apparently Blizzard doesn't care how you get lifesteal from a 1/1. When you deal 6 damage of lifesteal, you still gain 6 health. So if it doesn't matter, everything has armor, basically. Everything can be turned into armor. I mean, you can turn a skull into pretty good looking shield. I don't know. You know, the bump in the shield, you can just put a skull in there, and all of a sudden, it's pretty cool. And the shield can just be made out of bones. So you can make some armor easily, bro. Out of anything. And it still makes sense. Still makes more sense than lifesteal. Alright. But you have to kill a minion. You can't just, like, bump into a minion and all of a sudden you gain armor. It works a little bit differently. So you just give that taunt armor steal. If something dies because of that taunt minion, congratulations. You get some armor back as well. There's also Spell Ward. I was looking into some taunt minions, and one of them can be targeted by spells or hero powers. Who cares about hero powers? We take that out of the equation entirely. I don't care anymore. But you can target it with spells. Very simple, I think. It could be even more powerful where you cannot take damage from spells. That would make things even cooler. I think it's completely fine. I like it. Spell Ward, like, cool. Like, you have a shield that just removes all the spell damage bullshit. I like that. or take damage. There you go. Let's make it really complicated, because now it's a keyword. We can do whatever we want, as long as it, like, fits into a dictionary, man. Crystal Broker, we've fixed it, basically. And, it looks kind of awful. You have to wait for these breakpoints. But why? What's the point? You clearly summoning an A-drop because you have, like, 7 extra mana remaining when you play this card. You play this card first, and you have 7 mana remaining. So you could just summon how much mana you have remaining, and that's what I did. You know. Summon a random minion with remaining mana. You could even open a portal of some kind. Summoning elementals or something, because it says crystal, right? So you could just create an elemental portal, which I will just do, because I can. Alright, alternative. I'll make green squares like alternative versions. Or we could just copy and paste the whole thing. Because in this case, with Lady Astheno, the alternative nerf is just a very, very simple type of nerf. Of just, like, don't allow this thing to attack enemy minions. Alright. And remove the goddamn apostrophe, because we don't need that shit in our brains. It scares me, bro. That little ant thing, what is it doing in someone's name? I've seen it with Cthulhu, and maybe that's cool because it's an old god. He can afford it. What the fuck is this? Anyways. So, it attacks anything. It attacks characters, and that's the main complaint. You know, you have to take in the complaint and see what the main complaint is. Would people complain if their board gets cleared? No, they don't complain about that ever. But they do complain when they get killed by a 3-drop. Alright? That's pretty big complaint, I'm not gonna lie. So just don't allow this thing to go face. It's as simple as that. But let's copy and paste this. And we're gonna open a fucking elemental portal. We can't do that because we ran out of space. Well, you get the idea. It will use the remaining mana to summon a minion, but it's actually not gonna use the mana. It's just with the cost of remaining. I didn't said that it should use the mana. It's just gonna consider how much mana you have left, so it's super duper flexible. The longer it stays in your hand, the stronger it is. But you have to play it first. It's the only extra requirement. It has to be the first card to be played. Which is not a big deal, I don't think. Doesn't change anything. Besides that, you cannot really bounce it back to your hand or some bullshit like that, but no one's gonna do that anyways. Unless with Beatboxer, why I split the effect so it has spread damage, which is a new way of looking into damage. Alright? Because a lot of things have, you know... Jesus Christ. Boxer. There's Shadow Boxer, there's Beatboxer. They're kind of brothers, and honestly, these are the only boxer cards that exist. But if you look for Split Among, you get tons of cards like these. Tons and tons, especially Mage. Look at this shit. Tons and tons of cards that have split amongst all character. All character. Oh my god, all. Oh my god. So, wait, we're not done yet. Look at this shit. Mad Bomber. Why doesn't it say bold at all? Wait, where's the other Mad Bomber? What happened? Does he not spread? Where's the other Mad Bombers? What do they say? Split between. It's not amongst. It's not among us, boys. Oh my god. They changed it midway. Alright, whatever. So basically, we just replace it with spread damage. It spreads the damage. Now, I'm not exactly sure what to do when you have to spread to all characters. But most of the time you want to use this effect. And I found this to be like really cool effect that could be reused in so many cards. Except it takes so much space so you can't actually have it on most cards. So fix that. Now you can use it finally. Are you happy? So where's my boxer? So I split this into like deal 2 damage. And then you can combo it out. And it will still have a bonus effect if you played a bunch of combo cards beforehand. So that's cool. And you don't really have to play them combo cards as combo cards. You just have to have the tag. So that's it. Fixed, buffed in both ways, right? So it will deal 4 damage with the combo just like normally. But it will deal 2 damage without the combo. And will deal extra damage for every single combo card you played. Technically, like, it will count itself. Right, if you have this question, it will count itself. Alright, so, wait. This is the alternative. Yeah, for some reason... God damn it. I want this to be alternative. Which is like a super simple fix. Where I'm just like mad of like, just don't attack don't attack heroes. I did this one like, goes back to your hand if there's no enemy minions. Once it's killed everything, it could still be like ridiculously useful and not die. You know. But for me, like, just treating it as a Borkler, one-time Borkler, as a minion Borkler, I'm cool with that. You don't need more than that. Borklers are already pain in the ass. I play a 12-12 and it gets cleared by a 3-drop, I cry. Okay? You don't need more than that. What is that? Pure trigger. Oh, so pure is just It's kind of more a requirement than a trigger, but whatever. Because we have Pure Paladin, and the way you can just have a pure tag without specifying which class it is, you could say that you have to have a completely pure deck, which is quite thematic, I would say. But who cares? Alright, who cares what's in your deck? What matters is whether your turn was pure. Alright, that all cards you have played, and you had to play a lot of cards, at least 3. 3 same class cards, then you had a pure turn. So, you know, you're not supposed to rely on what's in your deck. You can't even see that. Alright, shit can get shuffled in your deck, and so many people made a mistake of, like, playing pure cards when they have shit in their deck. You don't know, you're not supposed to care. What you're supposed to care about is how to activate an effect. I think that's way more appropriate. It's very difficult now to activate a pure effect, but that's the whole fucking point. Alright? It's supposed to be very difficult. Because I don't like pure Paladin, that's why. We have Rodent that we made fun of at episode 2 and slapped him on a thumbnail because it's so fun to see something that has absolutely no impact to the game. Alright. Like, the moment you play this card, now you have to wait for death rattles to show up in your hand. How are you gonna do that? How are you gonna get your death rattles? Death rattles already, they have to wait until they proc the effect of things. They're not really powerful cards. If you're reducing the cost of battle cries, I would like understand that this is a playable card. Alright. Because it would just discount most of the cards and you can actually add it in a lot of decks. But this, death rattles don't exist in groves. You can't just put your hand in the jar and just pick any death rattles you want. This is very, very specific and they're kind of shitty as well. If we go to standard, look at the death rattles. I mean, I would play some of them, but most people wouldn't. And basically it's a tempo based stuff. Like I would play this. Posic is being played. I would play this. But if you build a deck with these cards, like you're not gonna be better off just because they cost one less mana. Now, it's still a powerful effect, but these cards, again, are unplayable. These death rattles. Just unplayable. So, of course, the rodent also gonna be dragged into nonsense. I'm just proposing a very simple buff, where they cost less in general. Even if you generate death rattles, anything happens there in your hand initially, you play a rodent, or everything costs one less mana, just to enable death rattle decks. You know, that's the whole point of the rodent, right? To enable the death rattle decks. But if you have to wait for death rattles for this effect to take effect, you're not gonna do anything. It's not gonna do anything. You're just gonna lose because your deck sucks, you know? So I just turned it into a passive effect. It's such a super clean way of putting the card together, right? Again, if you look into this, we're just reducing this into 1.5 lines, basically. And we're not even saying reduce the cost. No, they just cost less in general for the rest of the game. Like, what's the point of just... Yeah, whatever. You get the idea. Then we started nerfing cards because nerfs were coming up next. And we're actually running out of time. I won't be able to talk about everything. But how do I nerf a Disco Maul? Well, instead of having a death rattle, did I talk about it yet? I don't like death rattles. I think I talked about it for a long time. So I just make a special use effect where this is actually being used quite a lot. You do something with a weapon and it loses 1 durability. Fantastic. So what do you have to do? You have to summon a token and it gets a +2/+2. What is a token? It has to have 1 attack or 1 health. In fact, Hobgoblin has the same exact effect, except it doesn't buff 1 health creatures. Hobgoblin. Very, very spicy card. I mean, at least Kripparian liked it. He's kind of role-playing as a Hobgoblin right now. You know, for your amusement. So that's pretty cool. Where are we? Yeah, with the Disco Maul, we're just summoning a token. Basically, if we're summoning a hero power token, it's a 1/1. If we're summoning a Magma Rager, fuck yeah, we're gonna buff that shit. And I buffed the weapon to have 3 attack. I still think it will have just 2 mana cost. Maybe that's a little bit too powerful, but it just has 2 durability. Alright, so it can only buff 2 things. So for 2 mana, it buffs 2 things. And weak things. So it's not really that big of a deal, right? Or you can attack with a pretty decent 2-drop weapon whenever you want. So it's a decent weapon, but it doesn't break the game anymore. You know, that's the whole point. It's like, what were they thinking? You want to break the game by having infinite value? Staring at your opponent? How does that work? How does that make any sense? Basically, instead of Disco Maul, they should have just renamed it into Crush Maul, you know, King Crush Maul or something. Just so they understand what they have made for themselves. So the way to nerf Pozic, pretty simple. You just make the bots stronger, not the Pozic weaker. The bots get stronger. Because you have to play the bots anyways. So they better do something, you know. They could even kill Pozic himself if you just play both of the bots. You know, that's kind of cool. Pozic just dies from his own stupid things that he would summon otherwise. If he operates properly. There's Squeal, whatever thing. Who else has Quell? Quel'Tharas, dude. So Quel'Tharas is something that we don't have in Hearthstone yet, but we have hopes. I guess maybe it's a Titan that will show up. I can't wait, man. I can't wait to be right or wrong about this. But instead of, you know, buffing the board in your hands, you just get bananas. Alright? Fuck it. I want to fill my hand with bananas too. And not my opponent's hand. I'm done with this shit. And I'm not nerfing the attack. It can stay at 4 attack. No big deal. Alright, but now it has a new trigger, which is attack trigger. Which is also self-explanatory after hero attacks. Should we finish this off? I think we could do that, but it gets very complicated with this disco keyword. It's technically just a part of discover, right? Disco. Where you discover a card, but it keeps switching to the next option that you have seen the options. You can pick which option you like right now for this turn, but it will switch to the next turn, so you have to think of which... Maybe you want to play it next turn, so you have to pick the... You know, it gets weird, but that's the power of disco, boys. You have to dance. You have to learn how to dance. So you get 2 disco effects, but sometimes your discovery effect just turns into a coin. I'm not exactly sure. I mean, I don't think I can just insert a coin in there as a potion turns into a coin or something. I think you just get a coin back. After playing this, you play mana, but you can get coins back. You know, I think it's appropriate. So randomly you will not get one or both discovery effects. You're just gonna get coins. But you can get a potion. What's gonna be a potion? I don't know, man. It's probably just going to be a thing from the past. We had potions in the past. So, we have this freezing potion. We have this polymorph potion. A potion is technically a keyword already. This card has the potion. Add a potion to your hand. So technically potions already exist. Rogue a little bit... mixes things around and calls it concoctions, but still names it Potion Belt and Potion Master. So that's weird. But there's so many potions to choose from that it's very interesting discover effect. And it's even more interesting, a disco effect. Yep. So a disc jockey. Yeah, let's finish this off. It's going to be really fancy if we do that. Disc jockey. Add a random combo card to your hand, and I change it to discover a card. No. Get a combo card. Same. It seems like it's same. But without the combo effect. And you replace the combo with Battle Cry. It's very similar to how I treated the Overload card. And I talked about it at some point. Finder's Keepers, right? It loses the overload effect and it doesn't overload itself. It's like, why both things overload? What's the point? It already cost 1 mana. I discovering a card for 1 mana and Overload for 1 mana. What's the point? Because of synergy. What? Shut the fuck up about synergy. I want the opposite. I want to remove Overload from cards. And the same goes here. I'm removing the combo from cards so I don't have to worry about combo effect. I can just play the card. And it's a lot more powerful that way. You know. Where you know, a Blizzard developer just sits there and it's like, wow, it's so funny. I put combo in 1 card twice. It's a combo that gets you a combo. Isn't that cool? And I'm like, well, you're gonna get slapped in the face. You want it now or double it and give it to yourself later? You know. Double it and take it tomorrow. Or take it at the end of the day. You know, you can try and run away. So deck hand dead board minions basically are gonna be its own thing. I'm not sure when I talked about it. I did mention it, didn't I? But a minion from your deck, a minion from your hand. No, it's just hand minion. Just call it without your hand. Like, we know what we're talking about. It's my deck. It's my dead minion. It's on my board. So target it like that. It's very simple. What triggered me to do that? Because I don't see it. Oh, this thing, right? I said buff deck minions. You could say minions in your deck and minions on board and blah blah blah, right? Obviously you can stitch it together as like buff minions in your deck and hand, and it would work the same way. So the only thing I'm removing is in your, and it's not really a big deal, but I feel like it's so much cleaner, especially in your graveyard, or how does it resurrect, right? Resurrect? That died this game, am I right? Died this game? Oh, it doesn't say that. It just says resurrect? Oh, interesting. But I remember Priest doing this. No. I mean, it still does that very recently. That died this game. So why does it say that? Because it has space to specify? Sometimes it says that, sometimes it doesn't. I'm like, this says that I was summoned. Whatever. You can say, you don't even have to say resurrect. You just summon a dead minion. How about that? And you can specify what kind of minion. Summon a dead dragon. That's it. That's all you have to say. How about that for a change? Faithful win condition. What's that, faithful? Yeah, win condition, boys. How do I nerf this card? Because this card has to be deleted from the universe. I turn it into 3 mana, obviously. That's it. That's all I did. Is that it? Yeah. Yeah, that's what I did. Discover. Keyword. Guys, it's a new keyword. You've never seen it before. Is that thing that doesn't give you legendary options. So this is just an overall change to how Discover keyword is supposed to work. Not give you legendary options. That's it. Is it that difficult? Pretty sure it's not. But every time now, Blizzard developers, they have to, you know, pick things out of Discover pool to make sure, oh, you can discover, you know, these hero cards or whatever in Arena or whatever. You can discover this super cool 10-drop legendary spell, you know, and or now the 3 rune cards. Why if a card has 3 runes, you can't discover that. Just legendary options, okay? And we're done with this shit. Because it's cool when my board gets cleared, but it's so not cool when now they get to discover this little shit and I can't do shit about it. Now I just lose. The Scourge is annoying. So it turned from a Borkler nonsense into now the Scourge. Every now and then, you know. It's my win condition now. Fucking discover effects, man. Just remove the fucking legendary option, that's it. And you can turn these 3 rune cards into legendary cards. Easily. And make them stronger, but like, Jesus Christ. Now you get the ability to just remove them by turning them into legendary cards. It's one of the craziest nerfs ever. But sometimes it's appropriate. I'm not saying anything anymore. Alright? Do we have a bonus meme? I don't know. I was just gonna click on Hobgoblin. Maybe it's gonna buff my creatures. Alright. What is the first creature that would be buffed by a Hobgoblin? Counting down. Alright, from the most expensive creatures. Just to see what happens, alright? Which one wants to be buffed? Alright? Who's the big boy who gets buffed by Hobgoblin? Oh. Technically, but I'll skip this one. I like dragons, though. It's a moon dragon, boys. What else? I'm not interested in the very, very old card. Who's the token of the day? Where's my bonus meme, bro? I'm pretty sure, yeah, it's a treasure guard. That's pretty good. You know, no, it's actually a twin fin. It's actually a pretty good synergy. Not gonna lie. You summon this, you get a copy. Fuck yeah. Good job. Good job. Buffing Murlocs, though. That's weird. But I'll take that. Alright, see you guys next time.